Welcome, parents, and thank you so much for coming. We've all heard the story of the three little pigs. Today we're going to present our story, The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig.
Once upon a time, there were three cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. One day, the mother called her three little wolves around her.
My children, it is time for you to go out into the world. Go and build a house for yourselves, but beware of the big bad pig.
Don't worry, Mother. We will watch out for him.
Soon they made a kangaroo with Puss in Boots for a bit.
Please will you give us some of your bricks?
Certainly.
So he gave them lots of bricks. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of bricks. The very next day, the big bad pig came stomping down the road and saw the house of bricks that the little wolves had built. The three little wolves were playing soccer in the garden.
When they saw the big bad pig come, they ran inside the house and locked the door.
No, 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 we
The pig knocked on the door and grunted.
Little frightened wolf. Little wolves, let me come in. No, 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 not by the hair on our chinny chin chins. We will not let you in. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't go big and bad for nothing.
So he went and fetched his sledgehammer. And he knocked the house down. The three little wolves just managed to escape before the bricks crumbled. They were very frightened.
We will have to build a younger house.
Just then, they saw a beaver who was mixing concrete in a concrete mixer.
Please, will you give us some of your concrete?
Certainly.
And he gave the buckets and buckets full of messy, slurry concrete. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of concrete. They were playing frisbee in the garden when they saw the big bad pig coming. They ran inside the house and shut the door. The pig rang the doorbell and said,
Little frightened wolves with trembling chins, let me come in. No, 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 not by the hair on our chinny chin chins. No, we'll not let you in. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
So he huffed and he huffed and he puffed and he puffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't all big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched his pneumatic drill and he knocked the house down. The three wolves managed to escape, but their chinny chin chins were trembling and trembling and trembling.
We will have to build an even stronger house.
Just then they saw a truck driven by a rhinoceros coming down the road, carrying barbed wire, iron bars, armored plates, and heavy metal padlocks.
Please will you give us some of your barbed wire, iron bars, iron plates, and heavy metal padlocks?
Sure. So we give him plenty of barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and metal heavy padlocks. And also he gave him some plexiglass and reinforced steel chains because he's a generous and kind-hearted rhinoceros. So the three little wolves built themselves an extremely strong house. It was the strongest iron house one could possibly imagine. They felt absolutely safe.
On the next day, the big bad pig came stomping down the road as usual. The three little wolves were playing hopscotch in the garden, but when they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside the house and locked all the 37 padlocks. The pig pressed the button on the video doorbell.
Little frightened wolves with trembling chins, let me come in.
No, 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 not by the hair of our chins. We will not let you in.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down.
He huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down.
But the pig wasn't called Billy Brad for nothing. He brought some dynamite, laid it against the house, lit, fused, and
The three little wolves just managed to escape that the three little tails were scorched. Fluffy tails were scorched.
Really trying
that moment, you sorry for me though. Covered in lots. Wait up. A basket full of flowers.
Please, will you give us some of your flowers?
With pleasure. And he gave them lots of flowers, so the three little wolves built themselves a house of flowers. It was a rather fragile house, and it swayed in the wind. It was still beautiful.
The next day, the big bad pig came stomping down the road and saw the house of flowers that the three little wolves had built. He rang the bluebell on the door.
Little frightened wolves with trembling chins and scorched tails, let me come in.
No, 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 not by the hair of our chinny chin chins. We will not let you in.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down.
But as he took a deep breath, ready to huff and puff, he smelled the soft scent of the flowers. It was fantastic. And because the scent was so lovely, instead of huffing and puffing, he took another breath and another, and he sniffed deeper and deeper until he was quite filled with a fragrant scent. His heart grew tender, and he realized how horrible he had been. Right then, he decided to become a big good pig. He started to sing and dance. At first, the three little wolves were a bit worried it might be a trick.
But soon they realized the pig had truly changed, so they came running out of the house.
They started playing games with him. First, they played Wheat Frog. Then they played Piggy in the Middle. When they were all tired, they invited him into the house. They offered him tea and strawberries and wolfberries and asked him to stay with them as long as he wanted. The pig accepted, and they lived happily ever after.
When the three little wolves and their friends sang and danced at the
All right, thank you so much again for coming for our Parents' Afternoon. We have a couple people we need to thank. First off, all of you for helping memorize lines. We could not have done this without you. We need to thank Mrs. LaCroix, who is our music teacher. She helped with all of the songs, helping them memorize. Mrs. Newhouse and I are not musical, so that part could not have happened without her. So we have a flower basket. They're over by Junie, and a card from the kids for her. And then we have a very, very special volunteer, Mrs. Coulter. She has been such a blessing to us. Mrs. Collinger and I, a couple of years ago, challenged her to use one of our favorite picture books to come up with music and a play for us, which we presented last year. It actually happened around COVID time, and we had to wait a couple of years to present it. So at the end of the play, I think that afternoon, maybe, she said, well, what are we doing next? So Mrs. Collinger and I picked another one of our favorite picture books, which I showed you earlier. And she came up with the melodies and the music. Just amazing. We are so blessed to have her as part of our family. Not only did she do all that, but she came and played with us multiple times so we could get it right. And she's just a real blessing to us here at Holy Cross. We're so thankful to have her. So the card's and a gift for you as well. I don't know what the next one's going to be, so we'll have to figure that one out. I have my little notes, sorry. I get really nervous in front of adults. All right, so what we're going to do next is the activity part of our day. We're going to leave the church here in a moment. We're going to move down to the cafeteria, where we're actually going to run basically centers. So the kids are very familiar with centers. We do them in the classroom. So they're going to get to show you kind of how a center works. There are 4 stations, centers, down in the cafeteria. Your child is going to receive a little card with a number on it. Down in the cafeteria, there are tables marked with those numbers, and you're going to take your child and you're going to find a seat at the corresponding table/number. Please do not sit at a table that is not marked because you won't have the activity in front of you. And it also helps us spread and divide, and then I don't have to do it now. You're helping me out. When I release the kids, they're going to come to you, and you are welcome to start walking down to the cafeteria. School is in session, and our little ones are sleeping in the preschool. So as you're walking down, please just think and be respectful of the hallway. We call it a red light zone, so it's a no-talk zone. I know you'll be excited to see your kid and talk through the play, but wait till you get to the cafeteria. We're going to run stations for approximately an hour, so you'll have, I'll gauge it, but it'll be about 15 minutes in each section. You might finish before it's time to move. Just stay and have fun chatting with other parents and your child, and then I'll move you to the next station. And you will physically get up and move. That makes it easier in terms of the supplies and stuff like that. And at the end of our time, I'm assuming that means we'll be done a little after 2:30, which we need to be in order for Kids Care to start setting up down in the cafeteria. If a couple people can just help with cleanup, that way we can get out of there as soon as possible. We need to get out trash and things like that. And if we have any mess around the snacks and stuff like that, we have to get that cleaned up. So if you're willing and able. Oh, also, if when our time is done, you guys are welcome to take your kids. We have all of their stuff packed and at their seat in the classroom. So when it's time to go, you are welcome to walk back to the classroom, grab their stuff, and head out. Make sure you check out in the office so that they know where the kids are. All right. I'm going to release them. Mrs. Newhouse, boys and girls, we're going to get off the steps like we've been talking about. As you walk by Mrs. Newhouse, you have to get a number, okay? Everyone go number 1, please.